Okay. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. It's Georgiana, and I'm super excited to be with you. I just realized I'm a little bit early. It's not quite 9 a.m. It's about 8:56. So we'll just hang out here a minute. I know I had some people that said they were coming live, and so we'll just give them a couple minutes to get in. And while we're waiting, I'm going to just kind of throw this out there for you. I would love to hear, first off, where are you in the world, right? We have a lot of people all over the world in this group, and it's exciting to see where we're all from. And so whether you're here live and can see it, or whether you're going to watch it the recording, just drop in where you are in the world before we get started here. So um, I'm in Oregon via California. But I love working with people all over the world. I've been to Australia a couple times, and New Zealand. And the one thing that I have discovered after working with women around the world for more than 20 years now is that we all have different versions of the same thing, different versions of looking good. And so this kind of dives right into what I'm talking about today, which is the mask of competence and how you became addicted to looking like you've got it all together. And, this is a version that I've seen around the world, no matter where you are. This is a version of looking good because holding it all together has become a brand almost, but it can also be a cage, and a cage that you don't even know that you're in. So you've got the smile, you got the perfect answers, the I'm fine nailed down so well. People believe that everything is good for you, but in the quiet times, when you're by yourself, when you can put the mask aside, that's when things feel heavy. And you know what? You're not alone. So you're high functioning, you're high achieving, and you've mastered the appearance of authenticity. And so now here's the thing, it's not your fault. Um, so, we don't want to go down the avenue of shame, but we do want to start to bring this to the attention, to the forefront, because how this mask has been built. Well, let me go back just 1 minute. So, why we want to bring this to the forefront is because it has a real impact on us. It has an impact on, if you're a business owner, on what you do, how you do it in your business. Some things what you won't. Sometimes it's what you won't do. It's impacting on our health. So there's a real impact on that too. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So, but let's start with, how does that mask get built? It starts young, right? Be a good girl, don't make waves, be polite. For those of us in a certain age group, we were born at a time where it was still probably just coming out, or still in, where women were expected to go get to go get a husband, and that their husband would take care of them. So being able to put yourself out there and be a businesswoman, or be that independent woman that you desired, we started off learning that that's not how it was supposed to go. So be a good girl, don't make waves, be polite. We've all heard it, right? Big girls don't cry. Be a, so funny. Anyway, in adulthood, you're rewarded for this, for being reliable, calm, capable, especially in a crisis. You've got it all together. You can handle it. You get good at looking fine because real needs were often dismissed or judged. And over time, you start measuring your worth by how together you appear and not how you actually feel. So the mask becomes the default, and you just forget what's under it. So if you're here live, give me a shout out. Is this resonating with you? Now, according to a Mental Health America survey done in 2022, 75% of women say that they've minimized, minimized their stress in front of others to avoid burdening them or appearing weak. I'm fine. In a mental health, 75% of women say that they've minimized their stress in front of others. So not to have other people be burdened. 75%, that's a huge impact. Now, I talked a little bit about the costs of this mask that we wear. And so there's really 4 points: the emotional cost, a physical cost, relationship costs, and financial or professional costs. And, listen, these are probably the top 4. And if we dove into it, we could probably find lots more. One of the things that isn't in here is there's been some studies, and if you know anything about frequency and vibration, and recently I've just learned that up until then, at that moment, I always thought that love was the highest frequency. And now what's been discovered is authenticity actually resonates 4 times higher than love. So there's, when we get into the frequencies, which I'm not going to do right now, but I just want to say that because this is what we do. We're putting this mask on, and it is stopping that authentic self of ours being shown. Okay, so back to the bullet points of the emotional cost, physical cost. So let's just start with the emotional cost, because suppressing your true feelings leads to disconnection from your desires, and you stop even really knowing what it is that you want. You'll definitely stop talking about it and suppress long enough. And this is one of the things that I've discovered with my work, with working with women now in this field, is that how many women have stopped talking about what it is that they really want. It's not possible. I can't do it. It's too late. And I keep saying this, women of a certain age, we have been saying that for a long time. So I've shared with you in the past about my dark night of the soul last year when I turned 60. And this was me taking the mask off. And that's when I really discovered, like, I didn't love my sales coaching business. I was disenchanted with where I'd been, right? And this was all part of removing the mask and being able to look at, again, what it was that I really, really wanted. And there's also a physical cost to that, okay? There's this chronic masking, if you will, keeps your nervous system in high alert, leading to fatigue and headaches and sleep issues and probably a lot more, because it causes the inflammation in your body. And we've got heart disease and diabetes and obesity, all so connected with our body and the nervous system. So there's a real cost on our physical self. Now, there's also the relational cost. People connect with the role that you play, not the real you, leaving you completely feeling like you're unseen in close relationships because you just haven't shared yourself. And, and here's the thing, it's not even your fault. It's not your fault because we've been wearing the mask. You've been wearing the mask for so long. Sometimes we forget that it's even there, right? It's just how we operate in the world. So it's not your fault. Looking good is a natural symptom of being human. We all want to look good, avoid looking bad, right? That's that survival brain mode. Don't do anything that's going to rock the boat. It's really important, right? Looking good and the impact that it's having. That's what we're talking about here. So you're not feeling seen in your relationships, and this is why, right? You don't let anybody see you. And then there's the financial or the professional cost, right? So the mask is going to hide your struggles. So no one knows that you need support, mentorship, opportunities you don't ask. If you have a business or you're having to market in sales, you don't do speaking. You won't come on and do your Facebook Lives. You won't put yourself out there. And it feels really risky to bare oneself until, I've got to get it all together. My hair isn't right. My makeup isn't right. I don't feel good in my body today, right? Whatever that is, and it impacts taking the actions that you need to take to grow your business. And I was laughing when I was setting up this Facebook Live this morning because clearly I didn't worry about looking good today. I got my hair, I'm having a bad hair day, so I just clipped it up. I've got a stain on my shirt somewhere or a spot on my shirt somewhere, right? So, there is a real freedom. And I'm not saying go out there and look like a slouch, but have it be your self-expression, not something that you have to struggle with to get out there. And, the real kicker is people think you have it all together. So they don't offer you help. They admire you. And sometimes that's even not a bad thing, but, what they're admiring is creating that false ideal. And, we hear about this a lot, especially with the young people that see all these TikToks and everything where, they have the filters and the makeup, like everything, and they're chasing after something that isn't even real, right? And there's a real impact on our young people today. So, that made me sound old when I said our young people today. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. So Harvard Business Review notes that high performers who overcompensate to prove themselves are 50% more likely to burn out. So it's a good kind of red flag if you're feeling burnout. What is there something around looking good or this mask of competence that's keeping you stuck in what you're doing or feeling burnout? So now, why is it so hard to take it off? So I talked a little bit about this a second ago, right? Is that it's hard to take off because it can feel risky. It can feel risky and vulnerability. It feels dangerous, right? When you've built your identity, your brand around competence. There is the fear of judgment. If they see that I'm not perfect, they'll think I'm failing or I'm not good at what I do. A fear of collapse, and this is a real thing too, is if I stop holding it all together, then everything's going to fall apart and I won't be able to get started again. Whew, that's a biggie. Let that one sink in. The mask becomes your self-fulfilling prophecy, and you keep proving that you can handle it, so people keep expecting you to handle it. So you're just bearing and piling on and piling on and piling on because you're the person that can handle it all. So again, you can see how these all kind of keep feeling into each other, right? The truth is the mask is protection, but it's also the prison. I'm going to say that again. The mask is protection. It's protecting you from people really diving in and knowing what's really going on, your fears, your concerns, your worries. But it's also that prison. It's the prison that you've put yourself in and you don't even know that you're in. So now, you don't have to rip this off all at once. Start with little cracks in the mask, you know, little crack here and there. Let one trusted person see the mess. Let them fully in to see what's going on, the mess that's happening, and admit when you don't know what to do. And ask for help. Now, this isn't laying something on somebody. This is about being responsible for showing your true self and having a willingness to move beyond those limiting beliefs or the big limiting belief of looking good. Now, there is something about looking good and keeping that mask on is that naturally it keeps us safe. But the funny thing about this, about looking good, is we also get something out of it, right? We wouldn't keep it on if we weren't getting something out of it. So, and I just said something about it, right? There's the feeling safe, but sometimes there's also another thing, like don't have to be responsible for the results in our business, for instance, or we don't have to, it's not our fault that fill in the blank, right? Because there's that mask on there, and afraid of looking good is that real impact of not getting something, but sometimes that's the good excuse, right? And so the irony is the less you perform togetherness, the more people connect with you and support you. So the less that you perform, that you have it all together and I'm doing good, people are going to connect with you and support you. So what's one thing that you've been holding together that you secretly wish you could just stop forever, like not have it be a thing anymore? Just one thing where maybe this mask has been keeping you protected and it's prevented you from taking particular action that you just wish that you could do. So you're definitely not broken. You're just human, really. You're just having a human moment. And this is what there is to start to look at, right? Bringing this authenticity, pulling off the mask, asking for support, being your true self, putting yourself out there. That's all what's possible when you remove this mask. And listen, we've got these limiting beliefs and all these things that we were born into and we grew up with, and we've got them cemented. It feels like they're cemented within ourselves. But I promise you that it's not. And this is exactly what I'm going to be unpacking in the upcoming workshop about how imposter syndrome and money beliefs keep that mask glued on, and finally how to breathe without it. So it's coming up next week, and I would love for you all to be there. It's called Permission to Prosper. So if you're ready to learn how to remove that mask so that you can begin to create the life that you've always dreamed of without the stress, then give me a fire in the comments, and I'll get you all the details and everything you need to know to participate or to learn if you want to participate. All right, y'all. That's it for me now. I will talk to you again in a few days.